Namaste. Welcome everyone to yoga class. Hopefully everyone started off really well on this Thursday. So finding your comfortable seat for just a moment, finding a place where your legs can be relaxed, maybe even sitting in a chair, just whatever feels really good. You don't have to be cross-legged, you can be sitting on your legs too. Just whatever comfortable seat to start. Bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. And then just letting your eyes either take a soft gaze down below or close them completely. Rest your thumbs on your sternum. And then notice the breath in the chest behind your thumbs. Does the chest rise? Is your breath lower? Where is the breath in the body? Just noticing. And then as if you were yourself a balloon, beginning to fill the lungs even more, letting the breath expand into the arms, into the head, into the whole region of the body. Feel yourself filling with air, and as you exhale, keep your height, keep what you grew, and just let it out gently. And as you inhale, another breath, filling up, filling in, growing yourself, occupying a little bit of space above your head, and then exhaling, keep the height, keep your space. One more nice inhale. With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past and present. With joy, we recognize the excellent wisdom teachings of yoga and Ayurveda. With vigor, we dedicate ourselves to self-transforming practice. What's your intention for today? Your sankalpa. Find your intention. Repeat it to yourself 3 times. And then thinking of someone or something to which to offer up your practice this morning, someone who needs a little extra energy or some work you're doing that needs a little extra spurt. And then I'm going to chant one Om. I hope you can join in with me, exhaling the breath all the way out and inhaling to chant. Filling yourself back up with air and then inhaling and letting the eyes flutter open. Rest your hands on your legs. So for today's practice, everything that's been occurring to me since I woke up and did my practice in my sadhana is looking for some softness in the day, softness in the body, softness in the mind, just cultivating this softer side of ourselves, this lunar side. We have a new moon yesterday, so maybe that's the influence I'm feeling. So we're going to start by moving softly and gently. So we're going to start with our circles. And anywhere you feel a bump or an uneven movement, just back up and take that bump with you, smoothing it out. Just checking in on our proprioception, how our brain and our muscles and our bodies communicate. If you run into a rough spot, go back, iron it out, take it with you. And the next time you get to the front, let's go back in the other direction, keeping it smooth, really soft movements, fluid movements. Just rotating your spine around the pelvic basket, rotating the pelvic basket around the heads of the femurs. The next time you come to the front, come back into the center. Good. And then making some smooth movements with your wrist. Slow it down, keep it smooth. Slow it down. If you find any bumps, pause, go back behind the bump, and then take it with you. If you're going fast, you'll never know if you have bumps or not. You're not testing your brain or your muscles. Good. And then just relax the hands. The elbows are going to be the last thing. So now with our shoulders, we're going to take your left shoulder forward and bring it back. If it gets jerky, move back again. So left shoulder forward and bring it back. One more time. Left shoulder forward, bring it back. So sometimes just doing that movement shows us that there's jerkiness, like jacking up a car, rather than smoothly lifting with a powered hydraulic elevator. So if you find that jerkiness, I want you to go back there. Okay, so this time we're going to make a circle. We just went in one direction. You could take the time in your own practice and go to all four directions, but we just went front to check on the smoothness. Okay, so now we're going to make a circle. Take it forward and up and back and down. If you get to any jerkiness, just stop, back it up a little, and come all the way. If you find some more jerkiness in the back, stop, back it up a little. We're trying to improve our relationship of the way the brain and the muscles communicate through those nerve fibers. Good. Let's go in the other direction, forward. You find a spot, back up and go there. Good. Okay. And now right shoulder. Just first bring it forward. Take it back. Don't release it. Take it back. See if that move is smooth. Bring it forward. Not just dropping it in anywhere. You're smoothly taking it back. And if it's not smooth, stop right before that. Go right back behind that little jerky movement and bring it forward. One more. Forward and back. Rest it for a moment. And now we're going to do our circles. We're going to start forward and up and back and down. If you find any rough spots, the slower you move, the better this is for your brain. Good, and when you get to the top of the next one, let's go back in the other direction. Keep it smooth. We're going to just work with the shoulder joint and then the hip joint. We're going to do something standing that incorporates this smoothness. So don't cheat yourself with this warm-up. If you're going fast, it won't work as well, okay? Relax the shoulders. And just for a moment, the elbows. Just take the arms out. Take the arms around in a circle. Forearms just moving in a circle. If you can keep it smooth. And then other direction. Keep it smooth. Slow and smooth. Good, and just let the arms fall open for a moment. Palms facing up. Relax the shoulders. Good. And then just lean over to the left side. All I want you to do is to get your right leg free and easy. Good. And then extend out the right leg. The knee can stay gently bent. You're going to make a circle with your right leg. A soft, gentle circle. If it's too much weight, just bend the knee and make the circle with the hip. Other direction. And again, if you get to a spot, back up and go back through it. Good. Okay, both directions. And then just switch sides, just resting on your right arm, your right leg. And again, you can take it out. This is my bad leg, my bad hip. I don't want the weight there. So I'm going to just make circles with my knee. And the circle is smooth. And if I hit a rough spot, I just hit one. I'm going to go back and incorporate it and smooth it out. Now the other direction. Slow. Slower. Slower. If you find a rough spot, blend it out. Good. Okay. And then both legs up for a moment. Just squeeze the knees together. Both legs up, knees squeezing together. Good. And then take your feet and your knees apart. We're going to come up into a low squat. Just coming up into a squat. We're on the ball of the foot this time. So we're doing a little toe balance. Ball of the foot. Good. And then put your hands in the middle of the thighs, somewhere in the middle of the thighs. Begin to come up, still on the ball of the foot. Still on the ball of the foot. Good. The rest of the way up, still on the ball of the foot. And then lower down the heels. So our feet and our knees are out in the direction where we left them. Good. So bring your toes back in front of your heels. Second, third toe in front of the heels. And get yourself nice and solid. Nice, solid Tadasana. Good. Okay. So finding yourself in Tadasana. Good. Just take a moment, root down through the heels, through the ball of the foot, all four corners. Under the little toe, under the big toe, both sides of the heels, and then drape the toes down. Good. And then shift the weight over to the right side, bend your left knee, and just externally rotate it for a moment. The ball of the foot is still on the floor, just externally rotate it. Bring in both hip bones so that you're not sinking down into that right hip. Bring in both hip bones. Good. And then look down at your rotation. Just look at it. That's where you went. Good. And then release. Great. And then begin to shift the weight to the left side. Peel up the right heel. We're going to lift the right foot, externally rotate the leg, and plant it. Your hip bones stay front and forward. Your as is, your anterior superior iliac spine stays right at me. Good. All spine. And then just take a look down and see the rotation on that leg. Just checking out the rotation. Good. And then release the leg. So let's take our legs apart. You might want to grab a block for this. Just have a block handy. Good. So let's take our legs apart. So I want us to think about the softness for a moment. The softness moving in our hips and our legs, and the softness moving in our arms. So we're going to just do a little tiny vinyasa. The word vinyasa just means choreographed, coordinating movement with breath. Okay, great. So let's inhale, draw the arms up overhead, and down. The arms cross all the way up and down. Good. So just coming up, but moving softly. This is with control. I never let go. Good. Keep control. You're just hinging at the hips, looking forward. Coming up slowly. Cross the arms. Try the other cross. Put the other arm in front. Slow. Control the arms. Don't just drop. One more. Other cross. Good. And this time when you come down, stay down, look forward, place your hands again in the middle of the thighs. Press into the thighs and resist hands against thighs, thighs against hands. Gazing down at the floor, long spine. Press into your heels, press into the sides of the foot, lift your big toes. Broaden your sit bones. Good. And as we inhale, get long in the spine and exhale all the way up. Good. Heel toe a few times, coming back into Tadasana. Good. Breathing. And then we're going to go again, nice and wide. Okay? Finding the spot that feels really good for you. The sides of the feet, mine are more or less parallel to the sides of the mat, but that's the key is that you can lift your toes and your whole foot is on the floor. And then drape your toes down. Good. We're going to start by externally rotating the left leg. I took our belly button a little bit out toward the left. Good. So we're going to go through this smooth movement here. And we're going to see how slowly and how smoothly we can move. So right now, the leg is straight. We're externally rotated on the left leg. We're going to take the arms up to shoulder height. Gazing out over the fingers. Good. We're going to take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to bend the left knee. And then inhale, draw the left arm over, the right arm back and down. Good. Just coming back into that. Coming over and down. Take your gaze down to the right hand. Take your gaze over to the left hand. Moving slowly. Flip the palm over, looking at the right hand. Coming back, looking at the left hand. One more. Over. And back. Good. Straighten the leg. Relax the arms. Unrotate the left leg. Front and center. Pelvic floor is lifted, belly is engaged, your breath is in your low chest. And externally rotate the right leg. Good. Take an inhale, lift. Exhale, root. Inhale, arms lift to shoulder height. And as you exhale, bend the knee. Good. And then inhale, flip the arm coming over and back to the side. Good. Flip and come over. Gazing now to the right. Looking back at the left arm and now to the right. Moving slowly, like you're very soft, moving through water. One more. And then coming all the way up, arms up, rotate the foot back. Good. Bring the hands into the heart gently. Release the arms all the way down slowly. Take the arms back in a circle, all the way back and up and forward and down. One more circle. Roll the arms open, palms headed out and back. Up, forward, and down. Other direction, sweeping the arms forward, using the whole shoulder really slowly. And back, open the shoulders. Shoulder blades want to kiss in the back. Keep the circle smooth. Good, one more. And release your shoulders. Good. Let's heel toe a few times. Coming back into Tadasana. Close your eyes for a moment. Take 5 or 6 breaths. Relax your pelvic floor, your belly, your jaw, your shoulders. Take a few easy breaths, a standing Shavasana. And then on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. Good. Let's go back. Again, nice and broad. We're going to start again externally rotating the left leg. Left leg rotates. That took your belly button from front and center a little bit over to the left side. Rightfully so. Groin is open. Both sides of the legs are open. No crease on your right groin. Good. Bend the knee. Lean forward. Find that diagonal line. Right. Lower the arm and raise the arm. So the shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Good. So we're going to straighten the leg. So we're in a triangle. The bottom side is just as long as the top side. Good. So we're in triangle, and we're going to go to side angle and raise the bottom arm. Back to triangle. And side angle. Upper arm goes along your body. Lower arm comes along the ear. Straighten. One more. And triangle. Come back up and out of that tilt. Reach your arms away from each other. Slowly release the arms. And then unrotate the left foot, the left leg. Good. Right leg rotating. Maybe kick your left heel out a little bit. See if that keeps you open, more open in the left groin. Good. So let's inhale, take the arms up shoulder height. Exhale, bend the knee. Good. And now lean. Get that space right there. Good. Lower the bottom arm. So your right arm is low, your left arm is up. Good. And then you're going to straighten the leg for triangle. And then come into a side angle, bottom arm up, left arm down. Moving. Try to move with your breath. You can use the exhale wherever you need the most power. And one more. And bend the knee. Straighten your body, arms out to the side. Good, then release the arms slowly. Straighten the leg. Come back front and center. Both sides of the groin are open. Bring your hands to your waist, not your hips. Hands are on the waist. Good. And notice that you take the whole waist evenly with your hips and everything else. You hinge at the hips, not at the waist. Good. Everything comes. So for many of you, anybody that has any eye pressure problems, glaucoma, if you're on your menstrual cycle first 3 heavy days, you're not going to do this inversion. The rest of us, it's a half inversion, just releasing to the floor. Everybody else can stay looking forward. So releasing to the floor for just a couple more breaths. And then as you inhale, begin to gaze forward. Good. Bringing your hands to your sacrum slowly. Take a nice inhale. Get long in the spine, as parallel to the floor as you can, and then exhale. Rest of the way up. Good. Release the arms. Let's heel toe so we find our Tadasana. Good. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths in a standing Shavasana. Pelvic floor soft and relaxed. Belly soft and relaxed. Buttocks soft and relaxed. Shoulders, jaw, forehead. Good, and then on your next inhale, opening the eyes. So I want to do one balance with slow, soft movement in the hip area. So I'm going to hold on to a wall behind me so that I can actually, well, I'll hold on to one here so you can see a little bit better. So I'm going to externally rotate the left leg. Externally rotate the left leg. I'll hold on to this wall. Externally rotate the left leg. Good. So the right leg is solid, the hips are in. I'm not just sunk over into that left hip. Right hip, I've just kept everything in, okay? So hips are in, externally rotated left leg. Good. Begin to lift the left leg. Now I've actually got my hand underneath holding onto that tendon. Just holding onto that tendon for a moment. Good. And then I'm going to reach down and grab the ankle and just let the leg open for a moment. And then with that knee, if this feels safe to you and you've got the wall, make a little 5-cent piece circle with the knee. And keep it smooth. Your brain is having to talk to a whole lot of muscles right now. So see if it can manage micro movements of the knee. Smooth. Good, both directions. And then walk your hand down your foot, grab your big toe, Padagusta. Good. And then just start to straighten the leg. It's not going to have to get to straighten, just any kind of straighten that you can. In front, out to the side a bit, in front, bring it back and release it. Good. We're going to do the same thing on the other side with the right leg. So corn cob stake in your hips. Your hips are not going to fall over to the left side, okay? So balance is a part of this, but you've got a lot of brain work going on here. So hold the wall. Go ahead and bend and begin to bring up your right leg. Good. And then I'm holding behind my right leg as I externally rotate it. Don't sink into your left hip. Good, and just walk yourself down until you can hold onto that ankle. Just the ankle, the femur, and the tibia are in alignment, in perfect alignment. So there's no torquing of your knee. And then those little tiny, tiny circles with the knee. Other direction. Good. And then just place your foot against your other thigh, reach down, grab your big toe, take it out in front first, and then open it up again. Don't hang into that left hip. Push away from the floor. Bring it back and let it go. Good. Coming back into your Tadasana. Great. And then we're going to come forward into our lovely squat. Finding your squat wherever you might like it today. Squatting wherever you'd like. You can be up on the ball of the foot if it's more comfortable, and you can also put a block underneath your sit bones, whatever makes it comfortable for you. We're going to open up to the sides into a twist. Good. So you're going to open to the left, nice big twist. Resist your right knee against your right shoulder. Keep your neck as an extension of your spine. Don't drop your head. Come back into the center. And now opening over to the right side. And back into the center. Keep that relationship from the outside of your shoulders right into your knees. Press knees against shoulders, shoulders against knees. One more time to the left. If you'd like to bind, this is the place to internally rotate and reach around and grab some arms around that right leg, right knee. Then release, come back to Namaskar. Good. And then open. If you'd like to bind, this is the place to do it. And coming back into Namaskar. And then slowly finding our way to the floor. Good. Bring your feet back front and center. We're going to do a little boat pose today, working with that tensor fascia lata on the sides of our thighs that embedded up underneath the iliotibial band. Okay. So lean back a little till you get a V between your legs, your femurs, and your spine. Get a V. And then just raise one leg parallel to the floor, then the other, lower one, and then tap, tap with one leg, tap. The other one is just lifting. Okay, both toes touching the floor for a moment. And now both legs up, tap, up, tap, up, tap. Your knees are not together. Up, tap. They're at least as far apart as your whole pubic area. Up, tap, up, tap, up. Good. Really pull the chest through the shoulders. Good. And then lower the toes briefly. Put your whole of your left foot on the floor and extend your right leg out. Point the toe, really extend the leg. Pull the chest through. So you're doing the boat pose with your other leg. Good. And release. Can't remember if I'm mirrored or not. Go up with the opposite leg. Lean back a little. Pull the chest through. Good. And release. And let's think about either doing halfway again or maybe all the way. Wherever you are is perfect today. You can release the arms if you'd like, or continue to hold on. And then slowly drop the toes to the floor. Just the toes for a moment. Drop the heels to the floor, lift the toes up, and then pull yourself up on top of your sit bones. Take the soles of the feet together. Good, and get really tall. So holding on to your shins right above your ankles, really tall. Press the toes into each other. Just a little toe action. Put your hands in front. Open your thumbs and your big toes only. Index finger, second toe. Middle finger, third toe. Ring finger, fourth toe. Little finger, fifth toe. Good. Let's try to close them the same. Little finger, little toe, second, third, fourth, thumbs, and big toes. Good. And then bring the knees together and give them a little squeeze. And then we're going to swish our legs over to the right side. Just swish your legs over to the right. So one leg in external rotation, one leg in internal rotation. You might have both sit bones on the ground. It would be great. But if not, you can just let it come up a little bit. We're just going to do a twist and it won't be harmful. Putting your left hand on the floor, open, and roll the shoulder around. Open, and roll the shoulder. Open, roll the shoulder, and open. Stay up, 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 and close the shoulder and back down. Good. Switch the legs to the other side. External rotation on your right leg, internal rotation on your left. Just lean into the hand. Good. And open. Twisting out to the side, using just your thoracic spine, just where you have ribs. One more, go to the top, stay, and then come all the way back and close. Good. Bringing both legs out, front and center. So we're going to lie down. We'll do our inversion in a moment. Before we do that, I'm going to do a psoas release because a lot of us, our psoas, our hip flexors in the poses that we did this morning may feel a little bit of tightness. So the psoas release is often called windshield wiper. Feet are mat width apart. And when you're lying down, you're simply dropping the knees to one side, arch your spine, and look to the other. Come back to the center, drop the knees to one side, arch your spine, and look to the other. So you're just going through. The top leg can always go further to the floor. Good. So find yourself lying down. Place your feet mat width apart. And then as you're ready, drop your knees over to the left. Arch your spine, look to the right. Come back into the center. Drop the knees over to the right. Arch your spine, look to the left. Couple more rounds each side. Good, and then coming into neutral. So remember the same warning about inverting. And if you don't know this pose, this Viparit Karani Mudra, which is topsy-turvy pose, upside down pose, I want you to not be on the floor. I want you to sit up and look at me. I don't want you to try it. I don't want you to compromise your carotid artery by being on the floor. The rest of you who know what to do, you're going to have a block handy if you want it. You can also just use your hands. But the inversion, and remember you're not inverting if you have glaucoma, if you're on your first 3 days of your menstrual cycle, you're going to lay there and do some more floor work. Just think of anything that would feel yummy and good and do it. Anything except twisting in your low back. Do not do that, okay? So the rest, those of you who want to know what the pose is, I'm going to bring myself lying on the floor with my block handy, or a book, or a bolster, or a pillow. Put my feet on the floor, lift my hips off the floor. Place the block underneath my sacrum. Wiggle until I know that, oh, that feels good and secure. Then I'm going to lift one leg at a time in toward my chest. And then take both legs up toward the ceiling. Initially, they can reach up really hard and then rest. So finding this space, this Viparita Karani Mudra, this seal, topsy-turvy seal. So lying down, finding your block, so finding your seat, finding your block. Bend your knees, feet are on the floor, lift up, place your block firmly underneath your sacrum. Remember, the block has several sides. Pick the side that facilitates you raising your hip. And then draw your knees in one at a time, and then legs up one at a time. And then as you're ready, soften your legs. Take a little gaze back to the wall behind you, creating some more space in your cervical spine, which is your neck. Just rest your hands wherever they're comfortable, on your belly or on the floor. Breathe. Breath is soft and shallow, just enough to sustain you, but you are very aware of it. Not controlling it, but watching it. And then slowly and gently begin to bend the knees one at a time. Just be there for a moment, letting everything in the legs and the lymph adjust. And then placing your feet on the floor, staying there for just a moment as well. Then lifting the hips off the block or off the prop and letting them come down to the floor. Keep your lumbar curved. Don't push your low back into the floor. And then slowly and gently begin to bend the knees, no hands, just bend the knees in. Now the low back goes to the floor. Spread your spine nice and long. You may need to wiggle up. And then reach between your legs, grab your big toes, happy baby for just a moment. Just a little rocking side to side. Before extending your legs out in Shavasana. Extend the legs out. Don't feel trapped by your mat. Feel like a starfish. Just keeping your hands below the heart. What more can you give up to the floor? Check with your shoulders, your bottom, your calves, your heels, your forearms, your hands, the head. Letting go as best you can. And now slowly bringing your awareness into the breath. Don't change it, just watch it. The rise, the fall of the belly or the chest. Letting the eyes roll in the sockets in one direction, then the other. Letting the tongue roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth, swishing it along the front of the teeth. And then opening the mouth wide as if you were yawning. Tap, crackle, and pop to the ears, wriggle your nose, swim the fingers, twinkle the toes, bringing all of the senses online, how all of our information gets fed into our body through our 5 senses. Slowly and gently, deepening the breath a little. Go ahead and bend your knees, put your feet firmly on the floor. Lift your hips up a little and shift them away from me, and then rock over toward me. Curled up, all safe and secure. And then slowly begin to press the floor away. Let your head be the last thing that comes up. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. And when you're all the way up with your body, let your head just come up and balance on the spine. Finding a comfortable seat. A nice tall spine. Relax your shoulder blades down the back. And notice your breath in the belly or in the chest. Just noticing. I want us to do a few of the kriyas this morning. I don't know if we'll get through all of them, but a few actions. Kriyas are actions, and these are the actions of self-control. Swasa yam. So just moving through these actions, I'm going to give you a breath. It's either a chest breath or a belly breath, not a yogic breath, just belly or chest, either through the mouth or through the nose. And one will close off one nostril, but it's not nadi shodan. So listen carefully. Okay. We'll do each of these breaths 5 times. So I'll explain it, give a recap, and say do this, or we'll do this 5 times, begin. So you can practice run when you hear me explain it, but then when I say do this 5 times, start your 5 breaths. Okay? Kriya 1. Inhaling slowly, smoothly, and gently through both nostrils into the chest. Exhaling slowly, smoothly, and gently, letting the chest release. Chest breath, inhale nose, exhale nose. We'll do this 5 times. Begin. Kriya 2. Inhaling into the chest slowly, gently, smoothly through the nose. Exhaling slowly and smoothly through a partially open mouth. Chest breath. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. We'll do it 5 times. Let's begin. Keep your belly engaged. This is the chest breath only. Kriya 3. Inhaling slowly and gently into the belly region through a partially open mouth, letting the belly expand. Exhale slowly and gently by using the belly muscles and pulling the belly in. Breath is leaving through the nose. Abdominal breath. Inhale mouth. Exhale nose. We'll do this 5 times. Begin. And we're going to skip to Kriya 8, the 8th of the Kriyas. In this practice, we're going to exhale the breath. We're going to inhale in 5 even sips into the nose, into the chest. So inhaling in 5 even sips of breath, separating your inhale into 5 sips of breath into the nose, into the chest. Exhale slowly, gently, calmly through a partially open mouth. Okay, we'll do this 5 times. Inhaling 5 sips through the nose into the chest, exhaling partially open mouth. Let's begin. Bringing our practice of the Kriyas to a close. Falling back into your natural breath pattern, slow, superficial, gentle breath, not controlling it at all. As we move into meditation, Using the mudra of water, fluidity, placing the thumb against the pinky finger and resting the back of the hands on the legs. Other fingers just extended. Pinky finger and thumb. Liquidity in the body. The lipid, the oil, the water, the hydro. We are hydrolipid beings. Focusing for a moment on the liquid in your body. The blood, the lymph, the saliva, your tears, your food, liquidy, digested. All of the interstitial fluids. Keep your mind focused on your body and its state of liquidity. The mind wanders, bring it back. Liquidity in the body. Now imagining that somewhere deep below you in Mother Earth, there is a deep well of water. Feel the connection of the water in the earth to your water. Letting the horizon broaden to oceans and rivers and streams and brooks. Rain falling from the sky. Just letting your liquid self sit in a pool of liquid. Connecting you with the earth, with the universe. Slowly and gently releasing the mudra and letting the meditation go. Bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali. Any merit we may have earned this morning, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Remembering your sankalpa, repeating it 3 times. Remembering your offering. And letting those thoughts slip out of your mind, down into your heart, symbolically out of your heart into the palms of your hands, and then lifting it up and just letting it go off into the universe. Just let go. Bringing the hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. I'm coming to you for our short discussion after class. I'll be right there. I see a chat. For those that, well, this may not be, let me just see what the chat is. Hold on, let me fix it where that you can unmute yourself when you're ready and say anything that you might like, and open this chat. Okay, someone just had to leave today early. Good. All righty, I'm going to go to gallery view so I can see your beautiful faces. And let's see, let me close that screen. Okay, no, I didn't close it. Close. Okay, now I have you. Any questions about today's practice or anything? So the Swasayam Kriyas are the 8 Kriyas that are in the Ashtanga Yoga Primer, that you can get a copy of the primer from me in Spanish very soon. As soon as I'm going to give it today to someone to make copies, that I have permission to make copies in Spanish because it's no longer being printed in Spanish. But for those of you who want it in English, you can get it from Sri Ram Publishing. Just, you can go online or you can email me and I can put you in contact with Jaya and you can get it with, get it easily in the States. It's also on Amazon, but the ashram that all the funds are dedicated to make a little bit more money if you buy it directly from Sri Ram. So I totally recommend that you, I don't think Jeff Bezos needs more money. So the kids at the orphanage definitely do. So maybe buy it direct. So the 8 Kriyas that we did, we did 5 of them. We did, yes, 1, 2, 3. No, we didn't do 4 and 5, 6. We didn't do 4, 5, 6, 7 because I didn't, they're also really good. We usually do them all 8 together, but they're also really good at any point for self-control. And several of them are practices on their own that we often do, like Surya Vedana, where you are bringing it in the right and out the left, in the right, circling the breath through. We didn't do that one. Chandra, where you're circling it through. Kriya 6, which is, of course, it's really learning how to do abdominal breathing. So all of these Kriyas are excellent together as a set, but they're also really good separately. So, you know, you can do either way, yeah. Any questions about the Kriyas? Any questions about how was your smoothness today in your movements? Did you notice that you were jerky in any of the movements? Or was everybody smooth like a waterfall?
Ginger? Oops. Hi,
What,
Ginger.
Patty? I can.
Hi, Ginger.
Hi, Patty.
Thank you for reminding me to be smoother. Thank you for that. And also for the Kriyas, because I hadn't thought about that since YTT, I think. So I thank you for that. I have a question. In my mind, I have the thinking that as I rise up, I am inhaling, and then when I get up, I exhale. And I hear you to always say, exhale as you come up. So I need to get straight in my head. What's the better way of inhaling or exhaling as you rise up?
Okay. So when you're over and you have your head down, a lot of people have low blood pressure and have an issue coming up and getting dizzy, right? So I always have them just inhale to a halfway position and then pull the belly in. It stabilizes the heart, right? So then when they exhale up, they don't feel that thing, right? So it's just when it's a big room of people, it's the safest way to come up. It doesn't mean that if you're at home, you can, and doing your practice, you can't inhale all the way up in one fell swoop. But I find when I don't know people and I don't know what they're capable of, the safest way to get them up where they've had their head under their butt for a little while is to come to a nice kind of even bottom and head, and then exhale the rest of the way up. And then that keeps them really safe heart-wise, blood pressure-wise. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Solange is saying that her boat pose seems very hard and painful on the back of her upper spine when the head is in line. Okay, yes, the head is supposedly in line, And what you can do, like, so you have, that's just telling you have some weak neck muscles. And so you need to work on that. There's a lot of good somatic movements for the neck. And I can tell you that those places. But so then when you're doing it and you're leaning back, if it's too much pressure because you don't have the strength that you need here, just to do what we call eccentric contraction, which is hold it. If that's not holding it and you feel like, oh my God, then just take your chin to your chest and not work that part for now. Right? You want your head to be an extension of your spine in both pose, but if it's not the end of the world. You can just tuck your chin in. It's like a lot of people in, let me go up to this and show you what I mean. Let me go. If you can put it in speaker view for if you want, so you can have a bigger picture. But like a lot of times when I say do reverse table, right? People are in reverse table. They just want to drop their neck back, but they don't have the strength to get it up. So I'm always telling people to look at their belly button, because in the book, in Babaji's book, this is called Nabhi Darshan, which means gazing at your nabhi. Your nabhi is your belly button. So you're gazing at your belly button. So it's the same thing, I think, with boat. If your neck can't stay here because you don't have the strength yet, then just simply tuck it in. And just know that you haven't added your neck. I think the important thing is to have that awareness that you haven't added your neck, that you're going to work on your neck, that you know that is not the pose, but you have some neck work to do. Does that make sense, Solange? Good, good. Okay. Let's see. Good. I'm so glad, Alfredo, that I got you some water down below. I could just, when I talked about softness and liquidity, I really was feeling that kind of just soft, liquid, like it's kind of what I would envision it feels like to live inside chocolate pudding. Just soft and fluffy and, and it has to be chocolate because I don't want it to be light colored. I want it to be dark and just dark and chocolatey. And when I saw that pool of water underneath everyone, it was a really like dark liquid pool of water. And then all the up above, it wasn't dark like negative dark, it was dark like delicious chocolate pudding dark. Just for you to know, it was dark, but it wasn't a bad dark, because sometimes dark is not positive, right? You think dark, ooh, yeah. And everybody, the shoulder movement, how were you guys with the shoulder movement, keeping it smooth? I find that can be super challenging for people. And I can see you guys, right? I'm back there, but I see 4 or 5 people slung along the top. And this is what I saw when I was going. I don't know who you are because I can't tell who's at the top. It just kind of, it moves and everything. But I was saying, go really slow, and somebody's going, which is why I'm going slow. It's really cute. Like I do see you. I do get these shadows that give me, give me insight as to what you're doing. And it's so cute too. Sometimes, like right now, Tanya's sitting in light, right? So she's got this whole light background behind her. So when she gets up and goes to pee or something, I see that because I see the shadow disappear and then a shadow comes back. So it's kind of cute. Those of you who have just your name up, I totally get it. Yeah, it's really fun. But thank you though. It gives me some reverb, because then I really kind of can key into what's going on the screen, because I can look and say they're not going slow. Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down.
Ginger.
Uh-huh.
On both the shoulder and the hips, I didn't experience jerkiness, but there was grinding like cartilage. Is there any hope for that?
Well, in the shoulder, it's probably where there's usually a lot of cartilage grinding is in the hip or the knee, right? And not so much usually in the shoulder, unless you've really done some stuff in there, because the joint is the way that it's done, even though it's called a ball and socket joint, the way that it articulates with the glenoid fossa it doesn't have that same kind of rub sensation that the hip joint has, which is why people get hip surgery and not as much rotator cuff surgery. No, it just, as long as it doesn't hurt, Juliet, it's not any big deal. I can bend my knee for you close to this microphone right now, and you would just go, "Ah!" Right? But it doesn't hurt. It's just filled with cartilage from all that torn cartilage that I did all those years of dancing, right? So it's just gone. But it doesn't hurt. So as long as it doesn't hurt, you don't need to do anything, right? You just need to listen to it and say, "Oh, I love you. Thank you for reminding me that I abused you when I was younger terribly, but thank you for reminding me that." Yeah. So the first time I did somatics was in 2002 with Eleanor Criswell, whose husband Thomas Hanna developed the somatic movement and Hanna somatics. And he had studied with Feldenkrais and was so impressed that he went on to develop the whole somatics. And so there are 3 or 4 people that I really like online. And any of us that are yoga therapists in here, there's Tanya and there's Cam and Nayana. Only Priska's missing right now. We all really use a lot of that somatic stuff in our yoga therapy classes with our clients, right? So it's learning how to get your brain to work well with the nervous system that's informing it on the muscles. So it's to increase that proprioception. Like a lot of times, like the first time we were laying on the floor and somebody said, move your shoulder. And I thought, well, okay, that's so silly. And it just went jerk, 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 jerk. And then jerk, 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 jerk back down. I mean, it was nothing smooth. And it took me a while to get it smooth again. And what's really got my shoulder, I hurt my shoulder. I had a frozen shoulder from a really bad fall. It was 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years ago in August. And the first year, I could hardly do anything. And now and somatics has been how I've been working that. Now I can do namaste again behind my back. And I couldn't do anything. I had a frozen, and I didn't know until then that frozen shoulder meant frozen shoulder. It doesn't move. I thought it just meant, it was like restricted. It's not restricted, it's frozen. So somatic movement is really, really good to get the brain moving. And so a lot of times as we get older, we lose those neurons and those connections. And if we aren't actually physically trying to keep those connections strong with movements and with slow, purposeful movements, we do lose that connection. And then, if snooze, you lose. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So especially aging, and I'd say aging would be literally anybody over 50 needs to be adding some somatic movement into his and her life just to make sure that the neurons are staying at maximum level, And so that's a lot of slow, gentle movements, focusing on one group of muscles and the way the brain responds to that muscle. Yeah.
What exactly is somatics? I've heard the term used, but for something that sounds very different than this. So could you define it as you're using it?
Well, somatic is, there are two, there's the autonomic and the somatic. And so like somatic is when the brain actually gives a cue to do it, and that you can move when you move with purpose, right? Not what's happening anatomically, like our digestion, all the smooth muscles that are moving, that are happening. So somatic is the relationship of the brain to the muscles, and it's the moving with purpose. But a lot of times we don't move with purpose because the connection's lost. And if you've had an injury, I can guarantee you the connection's lost, and you have to recreate it, or you will have a pattern that has created restrictions. Anybody that's had an accident, you'll have restrictive patterns that maybe have had for 30 years. I had a ton of restrictive patterns in my neck from my car accident in the 80s that I have worked out. I haven't worked it all the way, but I couldn't even I could turn my neck to this side, fine. And this side, I couldn't. I could go like maybe like this. That was it. And now with somatics, I can go almost over my shoulder, almost. But, you know, bad accident, lots of years of abuse. Yes, Laura.
Can you recommend or those set of exercises for the neck? I think mine are from a car accident, but also it seems like typing and being on the computer so long is just really aggravating.
Yeah, I can. I can also give you some names of some people to look at online if you want to jot them down. My favorite, who teaches really slowly, her name is Susan Koenig. She's probably my age, and I like old ladies who've got a lot of years of experience. It's Koenig, Susan Koenig. And if you write in Susan Koenig somatics, you'll find it. The other one is Martha Peterson, Peterson, Martha. If you write Martha Peterson somatics. And then for you guys out there, there's a really good guy. His name is James Knight, Knight. And all three of those, I feel really comfortable recommending to my clients without even going through and just looking up something that Martha says it's going to work on your neck, or looking up something that Susan says is going to work on your neck. Because they've never led me down the wrong path.
So what is the difference, Ginger, using your neck as an example, between somatics and just turning your neck? Like, if you want to turn your neck, like to restore whatever movement was there, and you just did this every day, how is that different than somatics?
You have to, it's too fast. You have to go really slowly to reset the pattern. Yeah, I had moved my neck every day and it didn't do anything, right? So yeah, that doesn't work. It has to be super slow, which is why I was laughing, keep going slower, because we were doing somatic shoulder work. And the slower you go, the better it is. The more you rest between each movement, the better it is, because the brain starts to realize that its patterning was unnecessary. It stopped way before it needed to stop, or it didn't know where to stop, or it frozen a long time ago and didn't even know those muscles existed, right? Okay, well, we're at time, and I want to respect you getting ready for your day. So, and for those of you that didn't hear me, I'm going to keep doing everything through the month. And then next month, I'll have a new schedule because I have to teach some weekend classes for Mount Madonna, and I'm going to do that. Yes, the somatic experts are Susan Koenig, Koenig, Martha Peterson, Peterson, and James Knight, Knight. And all three of them are really good, and just look up their name in somatics. Thanks, Mary. Thank you. I'm glad. So really wonderful to see you. And like I said, daily, every day until the end of the month, which is Thursday, I think, of next week. And then in May, I'll have a new schedule. And I'll tell you more about that as it gets closer. Okay. Thank you so much. So wonderful to see you. Really wonderful to see you.